Hey yo, what's going on, all my gamers, all my Zenless Zone Zero gamers? So, the reason why I'm laughing is because I am updating Nikke right now currently for the new event that's going to come up. And I was like, you know, I'm going to have a background for this video. And then I saw this just playing in the background when I opened up OBS. And I just figured I would just leave it. I don't know why that's super funny to me, but I thought that was great. Now, the only thing is that I got to hope that it doesn't distract me because we're going to do a little bit of yapping today. Today, I wanted to talk about the Jane Doe story. How good was it, and how does it feel after the changes? Sorry, I keep laughing. So, if you guys don't know, this new change for the Jane Doe story is they put no TVs in it, basically. All of it has no TVs, and you actually get to explore around as Jane Doe. Now, the story itself it's a pretty good story. It's, you know, pretty silly story, just like any kind of Zenless Zone Zero story. Nothing too big, nothing too over the top. Well, it is over the top. It's very over the top, but like it's not exactly a world-ending threat. It's just Jane Doe and the PubSec, you know, going against each other. She's part of a gang called the Lion Mountaintop Gang or something like that. And, you know, in the beginning, they get caught and ran around by Jiren, Seth, who makes an appearance in this game, and you actually do get to play as him, and Ching Yi. So, the story, it follows any kind of funny story you might think. And spoiler alert, before I get into it, because I don't know how many people have played it, it's still kind of early on into the patch, but if you haven't played it yet, it turns out that Jane Doe actually works for PubSec, right? So you get to play at the POV of Jane Doe, and because of that, you get to find out all the things that she's thinking, stuff like that, blah, 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 right? So you get to find out her being a PubSec officer, and she's actually this, and that, but you actually find out through, like, Jiren when she reveals it, and turns out Seth got kidnapped because, you know, the Mountaintop Gang, they played dirty. They were going to execute some hostages they had, and because of that, Seth makes himself a sacrifice, gets taken, blah, blah, blah. Seth, I think, is really funny. I think he's a really great character. He's really dumb, and he really believes in the power of... Oh, I guess the update finished. He really believes in the power of Takano Jutsu, and you can change your life around and all that. And it plays a part in the story, and I think it's pretty great, because I think Seth is a really silly character. He's the type of dumbass that I strive to be, you know? And I think Seth plays pretty well. Now, the thing about these characters is they have a different kind of mechanic now. They have a mechanic of, like, a charge mechanic. I don't know if you guys have seen it when you played it. I'll probably show it on the screen. So you fill up the bar with their abilities and stuff like that, and they give you a pretty cool charge attack. Now, from there, we get to Jane Doe's story and what I want to talk about. I think Jane Doe's story is actually a nice change of pace from what we had through chapters 1 through 3. I'm actually going to probably be doing this backwards, where I talk about Jane Doe's story, then I talk about the main story. The story flows a lot better, in my opinion. You know, you get to run around and actually see stuff happening, and you actually get to play the characters that you're playing. So when they let you borrow a character, because you have to play as Jane Doe, so you get to play as her, you actually get to walk around the character as the character in and out of combat. You know, outside of combat is where you get the famous Jane Doe strut. Why does it jiggle like that, bro? Game of the year right here, just because of this, which is what made this video, or what made this story a lot longer for me, because I stared at her walking around with her hips and all that, and her ass basically jiggling with every step. And I think I prefer this a lot better to the TVs. I know people do love the TVs. You know, I made a video where I talked about how I thought the TVs really take away from the story, and how it really slows down when you want to progress the story. But people actually disagreed with me, and they said that they really like the TVs and stuff like that. And chat, I'm a man of the people, so I acknowledge you guys first. You know, if you guys say that you like it, hey, you guys like it. You dig what I'm saying? Me personally, I prefer this style of story, and I think the TVs are good for side stories personally, like side commissions and stuff like that. But It did still flow a lot better, but the only thing is that there are some parts that aren't voiced, and if you're lazy like me, it won't be read. Like there's some parts of the story I still don't know what happened just because I didn't read it, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit. It was if you read it, I think it's about a 4-hour story. If you skip most of it, it's about 2.5, maybe 3 hours. But I gotta say, really good story. And I think that this change is pretty good moving forward to the other stories that they're going to tell if they do it like this, where you get to walk around as a character and you don't have to do the TVs. Of course, chat. I also want to know what you guys think. If you guys liked this story, this style of story, if you guys want this for when Caesar comes out, or if you prefer the TVs, if you want them to come back. Now, this is not a main story, chat. Let me be clear. This is not a main story. This is a character story. Jane Doe story is not part of the main story. So, as a character story, let me know if you guys think that the no TVs works better and you guys want the TVs for, say, the main story. I think the main story putting it on the main story kind of makes it feel like almost, how's the word that I'm trying to put this? It almost feels like on-screen RPG where everything is described to you and it's voice acted. Kind of like playing, I guess, D&D and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really play many tabletop games, but this is just what it reminds me of personally. And I know people love that. I'm never going to say that, those games are stupid and you shouldn't like, if it's what you like, it's what you like, chat. Me personally, I never played tabletop, so I prefer things being visually shown to me because I have 3 brain cells fighting for 4th place. I'm not the smartest, so being able to see it visually is really cool. Plus, I just stared at Jane Doe the whole time, so I had a great time. But tell me what you guys think overall. It's probably, I want to say it's probably the best story so far. I really liked part 3, and part 2 was really good. But mostly because they had Rena and Grace, and you guys know me and my type of woman, so it is what it is. Overall, good story. I like this change. Tell me how you guys feel about the Jane Doe story, about the non-TVs. Anyways, comment, like, and subscribe, chat. I will see you gamers in the next one. Bye.